right? I was not sharing the screen on the other side. I said to you, as you can see, the market was coming from a downtrend. Then there was a change of character from here to this side, creating an uptrend, right? So this is what took place. So when the market changed the character from here, they used a head and shoulder right there. So we've had a head and shoulder, which is the left shoulder, right shoulder, and then we broke to the upside direction, right? Came back to retrace, and then they started creating some high highs as they already did. Higher high, higher low, higher high. Okay, let me start from here so that you guys can understand. We've had a higher high, higher low, higher high, and then lower low. I know some of you will never understand how we got into that lower low. I'll show you that. So this is how we got to the lower low. So this is the higher high, higher low, higher high, and then higher low. I don't know. Let me explain it nicely. Higher high, higher low, and then high, higher low, and then higher high, and then higher low, and then high, and then lower low, because they traded below this area. After this lower low, they shifted and went and created a new higher high. Higher low, and then higher high, higher low, what you call lower low, and then higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and then higher high. As we got into this higher high now, right? And then they gave us a higher low, and then high, and then went and created a new lower low. This is the monthly time frame, right? This is where the structure is getting broken. I'll try to show you, break it down for you clearly so that you can understand. So this is the higher high, higher low, and then high, because they failed to go and trade above that high. So this is called the high after this higher low, and then they went and created a new lower low, and then lower high. And then we're expecting them to drop. We already have some factors of confluence right there because this is market structure. This is higher low, and then high, lower low, and then back into that retracement. That's what we're doing. And then we already have some candlestick formation right there. What is this? What is this candlestick formation? What is this candlestick formation right there? Mr. Mutilo, what's that candlestick formation?
What is it? Bearish engulfing candlestick.
So that's a bearish engulfing candlestick. A bearish engulfing symbolizes a change of character to the downside, right? Because the last candlestick is engulfing, the current candlestick is engulfing the last candlestick that was going high, right? And then now when we bring our EMA, the EMA is almost crossing. We would love to see them just trading the market to push a little bit down so that the EMA can trade above the market, then the market trades below the market because it serves as a support and resistance. But this will not stop us from executing a trade because as you can see that they will got a factor of confluence as they are close to each other. You might see some break right there. So yeah, we've seen the market was trading up, broke out from this trend line. As I've already said that we've had a trend line right there. I know many of you still want me to draw that. We've had a trend line right there. As you can see, there is your trend line. Those of you who like applying trend line. I also do use trend lines, but I don't only rely on trend lines alone because trend lines alone, they do not work. You must be aware of that. Trend lines alone, they don't work. Then the market broke out from that trend line, went back to retrace back into based on the market structure. All right. Fine. Now we move to the next time frame. We're going to the weekly time frame, right? So on the weekly time frame is the very same story as you know on the bigger picture. We've got an uptrend which the market broke out from, right? they broke out from that area of interest. So I'm not going to focus on this because this is not going to help us with anything. I'm more interested into this part. This is the part that I'm more interested into because we're trying to find some cells. So we want to see if it correlates. Remember, we already know that the market was trending up. We've had an uptrend. They have broken out from this uptrend, right? And then they started creating some lower lows. So what we're looking for, we're looking for an opportunity to sell, right? So as you can see here, the market took a shift. They took a shift with this small head and shoulder. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, started creating high highs, high lows, high highs, high lows, higher highs, right? Higher low, and then high. And then they created a new lower low right there, meaning the structure, it is broken. We are looking at the bearish structure, as you can see right there. Let me still explain to some of you who don't understand, right? I know some of you still don't get it. So this is what I'm talking about. This is higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and then higher low, and then high, because they failed to go and trade above that higher high. So this is a high, and then this is a lower low. Why is it a lower low? Because they traded below these higher low. This is a higher low that we have. So the minute the market trades about below a higher low, meaning we've got a retracement, then the structure is broken. We want to see them continue to go to the downside. Even if you can look at just here, those of you who like applying your trend lines most of the time, you realize that you've had this small uptrend right there. Then the market is broken out of that small uptrend, right? So it is very much important, right? It is very much important. High highs, high highs. Then they've broken out, went back to retrace into that area. If you had to put it nicely right there. They've broken out from the trend line, came back to retest, then they continue to drop, create lower low, lower high, and then we want a new lower low right there, right? So that's what you're looking for on the weekly time frame, right? I'm going to bring the EMA. Let's see what the EMA is doing. So the EMA has already crossed, as you can see. We are basically trading below the EMA, which is a good factor of confluence as well. That shows that serves as a resistance and support. So meaning the market, it's in the right direction, right? Now, we're going to drop to the daily time frame. So the daily time frame is very beautiful as well. I like what I'm seeing on the daily time frame in terms of Nzdjpy. So the Nzdjpy, it's been going up, creating some higher highs. I'm going to remove the EMA because I don't normally just leave it like that as I'm analyzing. We've had this higher high, higher low, higher high. I'm not going to go into details based on the market structure because I know some of you are going to say this is a lower low. Yes, it could be a lower low, but I'm looking based entirely on the fact that we are riding on an uptrend. If we have to go into details, looking at where is the higher high, where is the lower, there are a lot of market there are a lot of areas where the market broke the structure, creating some lower lows. So we're not going to do that. I'm just going to look at the fact that the market overall here was trending up, right? Was going to the upside direction. That's what we're going to look at. That's what's more important. So here we've been creating some high highs, high lows, high highs, high lows, high highs going to the upside. Then this is the higher high. I want it just right here where the structure got broken because this is the most important thing it's at, right? So this was the last higher high, Mr. Butsilo, as you can see, right?
Yeah.
Then we had our higher low, and then we had equal high, right? Since we've got a higher low, the market broke the structure, went and create a new lower low right there, right? As they create this lower low, then they pull back into that higher low that we've got in the market. Then they retrace back into that break of structure. That break of structure, if you look at it, they also happen at the break of the trend line, horizontal area of interest as well. So that's a very beautiful thing that whatever that happened right there. I'm going to try and show you again. This is the higher high, higher low, and then high because it failed to go and trade above that high high. They went and create a new lower low. Then we had our retracement back into that break of the trend line and break of structure. Then they continue to go to the downside direction. Then they're pulling back, right? and at the break of structure back into that lower low. That's what they're doing. We already have a doji. We already have a bearish hammer pin bar right there. Which, if we combine these three candlestick, what is that candlestick pattern, Miss Kapanga?
That candlestick pattern is
the three candlestick pattern right there.
The three candlestick patterns, coach. Isn't that bearish engulfing? But three, the one that's going up, the bullish ones.
One, two bullish candlestick, one bearish candlestick.
Yes.
That's an evening star, Miss Kapanga. Are you with
the bullish right at the peak? Yes.
That's an evening star. So now we're going to try and apply the fib retracement, right? So the fib retracement is going to hold it from the impulsive move up until to this area. Then you will realize that, okay, this retracement took about 61.80%. And then this is our next take profit, our first TP. Then we could see some retracement back into that area, then our next TP, right, as we're going down. So what's going to happen on the Nzdjpy is that our entry is going to be here. Our entry is going to be here, right there, and then we pull. This is our first TP, then this is our second TP, right? So this is what's going to happen on the Nzdjpy. Nzdjpy. This is what we're going to look for. We're going to look for. Here you came up with something, Butilo. Mr. Butilo, you came up with something here.
Oh.
You've got good eyes in spotting good trades, right? So you came up.
It's all about you.
You came up with a very good pair. I don't want to lie. This is very beautiful, bro. Very beautiful. Look at our EMA. Our EMA is already crossed. As a factor of conference, it's already trading above. That's another factor of conference for us in order for us to sell to the downside direction. That's what we're just looking for. We're just looking at to execute the trade, right? But in order for us to find a perfect entry, we're going to have to drop down to small time frame, right? In order for us to get what we're looking for. So here, I'm going to look for market structure. That is the only thing that I'm going to look for. I'm looking for market structure. I'm going to remove this just a little bit for now, right? So that we can get our market structure clean. So what we're looking for is the market structure right here. So the market has been creating some higher highs, higher lows, higher high, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, and then higher high, and then higher low, and then high. Now we're going to focus on these higher high, and then higher low, and then high, because the market failed to go and trade above that high. And then they went and create a new lower low, meaning the structure, it is broken. We've broken the structure right there. This is higher high. I don't want you guys to get confused. This is a higher high. This is a higher low. Then this is a high. This is a high. And then this is a lower low. Right? Then the market is going to create a lower high. Right there. As they were going to retrace. Right? So,
coach, even when you wrote the high, isn't that the lower high?
I said lower low, lower high. That's a lower high.
No. Where you wrote high, H. Isn't that the lower high?
And look at it, this is higher high.
No, it's a high.
Low, it's a high. Because it failed to trade above that previous higher high. So it was going to be equal.
Oh, it's because the trend has changed. The market has, okay, the structure has changed. Okay.
The structure is not even broken, Ms. Kapanga.
No, but then it's going from an uptrend to a downtrend.
Yes, but from that high, the structure is not yet broken. This is a higher high.
No, not yet broken. I didn't say broken. I said the structure has changed.
Hasn't changed. That's what you mean.
Yes, yes.
Yes. So the structure only started changing when we traded below the higher low. So we've had a higher high, higher low, and then high because they failed to trade above that higher high. It was going to be a higher high if they trade above the high. It was going to be equal higher highs if they trade in equal with the previous higher high, right? Then now from the higher high, we shifted and went and trade below that higher low. Then we created a new lower low. Then we pull back. Now we want to see them coming back to retrace back into this area. Then we continue to go to the downside direction. That's what we are looking for in terms of the structure, but the structure is already broken. So in order for us to find an entry, we want them to come back here and give us some factors of confluence. And then our EMA, it's also trading above. We don't want that. So we would want to wait just a little bit, let them go back to that area and continue to go to the downside. And we want to see our EMA also cross trading above. That will give us another factor of confluence, right? I'm going to drop down to 1 hour. That will be our last time frame of the day. That will be our last time frame of the day. 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 Okay. I'm going to erase everything again once more. And then I'm going to remove the EMA as well. We've got this higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and then higher high. Okay, this one is going to be a tricky one, but I know I'm gonna crack it. It's gonna be a very much tricky one because there's so much choppy movement that took place right there, right? So we've got a higher high, higher low, and then higher high, and then lower low because the market traded about below that higher low, right? I'm going to repeat that so that you guys can see. This is the higher high, and then this is the higher low, and then this is the higher high because the market traded above that higher high, as you can see, right? Then they come back, they create a new lower low because they traded below this higher low, right? From this lower low, they went and create a higher low, a lower high, and then low, and then higher high because they traded above a lower high. They shifted the structure again to be bullish, and then from this higher high, they went and create a higher low and then a high because they failed to trade above that. And then they come back, create a new lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and then lower high, and then low, and then and then we would say this is a lower high. I wouldn't say the structure is yet broken because we are just sitting right there, right? So yeah, this is the lower low and then lower high. So we're looking at them to shift the structure to the downside. That's what we're looking at. So as you can see, even the EMA, it's trading below this area. We've got...
Coach, you mean the EMA is trading above?
Yes. Sorry,
You said
the
below.
EMA is trading above. So the only thing that I think we have a problem with here that we need to wait for this. You see this H4. Let's wait for the EMA to trade below. So if the market is going to turn from where it is, we just want them to trade just above the market from this EMA. That's all that we want, right? But there is a possibility also that the market could still pull a little bit up to completely to that previous area, then we continue to the downside. But we must not be glued to that. The market might turn from where it's at. What we want is just the EMA to cross, this EMA to continue to cross, then the market trades below this area, this EMA. That's it. Then we got our entry. That's what we're waiting for. That's all I will be waiting for in terms of Nzdjpy. But Nzdjpy, we're selling. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful trade. We are definitely selling. We are definitely selling Nzdjpy. There is nothing more to look for. If we are going to enter from here, there is nothing more to look for. We are going to have our first TP here, our second TP right there. That's what we're looking for on Nzdjpy. That's it. If you still want something more than this, unfortunately, we don't have a systematic BCB trading solution. We only have Nzdjpy. Big up to you, Mr. Butilo, on this one. You've spotted a very good trade, I must say. Thank you so much.
There's another one. You look at.
You still want us to do another one?